You ever stop and wonder why some things just take off? An idea, a product, sometimes even a goofy video. They just explode out of nowhere, while other things, maybe even better things, just fizzle out. It feels totally random, right? Well, what if I told you it's not luck at all? There's actually a science behind why we share.
I mean, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why do we end up talking about one restaurant over another? Why does one message spread like wildfire, while another one just disappears? It turns out, this isn't random. It all boils down to a few key drivers of what are basically social epidemics. We're talking about what makes ideas memorable, how our decisions affect the people around us, and the really deep psychological reasons we share things in the first place. There's a formula here. And let's be real, it's a hard formula to crack because we are swimming in noise. We're just bombarded with emails, ads, and messages all day long. So for any idea, even a brilliant one, to cut through all of that, that's the real challenge. So, how do you do it? Well, luckily, there's a super powerful and honestly surprisingly simple framework that breaks it all down. It's an acronym and it's called STEPS. That's STEPPS. It stands for social currency, triggers, emotion, public, practical value, and stories. Get these 6 ingredients right, and you've got a contagious idea. So let's start breaking this down. First, we're going to look at 2 of these principles that really tap into our basic human psychology. The why. Why do we share it all? The first S is for social currency, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Just like you use cash to buy things, we use social currency to make a good impression on people. We share stuff that makes us look smart or cool or like we're an insider with special knowledge. And you see this play out everywhere. I mean, think about it. Some things we buy are just functional, right? A pen, a backpack, they do a job. But other things, the music we listen to, the car we drive, the clothes we wear, they're symbolic. They say something about us. We choose one brand to signal, hey, I'm successful, or we avoid another brand because we don't want to be seen as that kind of person. It's not just about the thing, it's about the message it sends. All right, the next piece of the psychology puzzle is the P for practical value. And this one's really simple at its core. We just love to help other people. And one of the easiest ways to do that is by sharing useful information. You find a great tip, a life hack, an amazing deal, there's this natural urge to pass it on. But here's where it gets really interesting. How you package that useful info matters a lot. So take a look at this. You've got a $20 item. Which deal feels better to you? $5 off or 25% off? I mean, they're the same amount of money, right? But one of them just feels like a better deal. This whole thing points to a really cool psychological trick for making your practical value feel, well, more valuable. It's called the rule of 100. And the rule is super simple. If the item's price is under $100, frame the discount as a percentage. 25% just sounds way bigger than $5. But if the price is over $100, use the absolute number. Saying $500 off a $2,000 laptop sounds way more impressive than 25% off. It's the same value, but a totally different psychological impact. Okay, so understanding why people share, that's half the battle. But what about the mechanics of it? How do these ideas actually travel from person to person? That's what we're digging into next. Let's try a quick little experiment. I'm going to put 2 words on the screen. I want you to just think of the first word that pops into your head. Ready? Peanut butter and... I am willing to bet that almost every single one of you thought jelly. That right there is our next principle in action. T for triggers. Triggers are cues that make us think of something else. You see one thing and your brain automatically serves up another. And that's the power of a great trigger. The best ones link an idea to something that happens all the time in our environment. Think about it. Corona literally linked its beer to the beach. Michelob for a while was all about weekends. And Kit Kat's classic line, have a break, have a Kit Kat. You see the beach, you think Corona. The weekend rolls around, you think Michelob. It's brilliant because what's top of mind becomes tip of tongue. All right, next up is the other P in our framework, public. This is all built on a super powerful psychological idea called social proof. Basically, when we're not sure what to do, we just look around and see what everyone else is doing. You see a long line outside a restaurant, you just assume the food must be good, right? But here's the crucial part. For social proof to work, the behavior has to be visible. You have to be able to see it. If we can't see it, we can't copy it. It's easy to see someone's new car or cool t-shirt. It's a lot harder to know what brand of toothpaste or socks they're using. So for an idea to spread, you have to find a way to make the private public.
And this brings us to our final two principles, which are really tied together: emotion and stories. The E in steps is for emotion, and the rule here is so simple. When we care, we share. Things that fire us up, whether it's awe or excitement or even anger, those are the things that make us talk. And what's the best vehicle for carrying emotion? Well, that's our final S, stories. A great story is like a Trojan horse. People get so caught up in the narrative, the horse, they don't even realize it's carrying a message right inside. So, a great story carries an idea. But what about the idea itself? The message inside that Trojan horse? How do you make that part truly unforgettable? For that, we can look at another framework that works perfectly with this one. It's called the success model.
And yep, it's another acronym. This one has 6 principles for making ideas sticky. It has to be simple, unexpected, concrete, credible, emotional, and told in a story. They're all super powerful, but let's just zoom in on one that is absolutely critical for cutting through all that noise we talked about: concreteness. Just look at this table. On the left, you've got this abstract corporate speak stuff. Violent crime, we deliver the highest quality service, blah. Now look at the right. It's concrete. It's specific. Murder, rape, theft. Our duty is to help people away from home feel that they're among friends. Which one paints a picture in your head? Which one makes you actually feel something? Concrete language is memorable because our brains can latch onto it. We can see it. So as we wrap this up, I want you to think about your own ideas. It doesn't have to be some big product launch. It could be a project at work, an initiative you really believe in. How can you give it social currency or practical value? How can you build in triggers and make it public? And maybe most important of all, what's the emotional story that's going to carry it out into the world?